Shalom, family trendsetter. All praises be to the Most High. I am driving, so you will hear some noise in the background. Please bear with me, as well as I do have a tendency to struggle for words when I speak because of my West Indian dialect. Now, in this video, very reluctantly, I'm going to talk about our people. Now, if you notice on my channel, I don't talk about my people in any negative light because I'm sure there's enough channel out there doing a good job of doing so, putting us in a negative light. So I, for one, do not like to do so. However, I'm going to bring up a couple of topics or a couple of people in this topics, and I want y'all to just pay attention and giving you my insight on it. Now, there's a lot of trending news going on, and one of which is P. Diddy, TD Snakes, I refer to him as TD Jakes, and Wendy Williams. Now, why am I bringing these three individuals up? Because there's a lot of things that's happening, and a lot of people at face value just looking at what's going on and drawing their own conclusion, but it has a spiritual aspect to it. Now, I remember growing up, they said, what's in the dark always come to light, right? And I, for one, believe in that 100% because I've seen a lot of things that was hidden now is being revealed, right? Even me being in the truth, I remember I'll go back maybe a decade and a half. A lot of stuff that I know today, I didn't know this before. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to talk about religion today. I'm going to try not to anyway. But I want to talk about these three individuals. Now, there's a documentary that occurred that was actually done on Wendy Williams, right? And of course, a lot of y'all heard about P. Diddy being exposed as well as TD Snakes. And for me, let's talk about TD Snakes, TD Jakes, whatever the fuck, right? It was always something about this dude, man. When I first, came across this dude, his, flamboyantness and his, he got this characteristic where he had a little femininity, right? Is that a word? Femininity about him. I remember when I first came across his brother, the first impression I had was that he's a motivational speaker, right? He one of them dudes that got the gift for gap. But it was something about him. I never really liked this dude. I don't hate him, but I never really liked him. It was something about this dude that rubbed me the wrong way. And I always just say to myself, this dude one day is going to be exposed because he's too much on top. A lot of these fucking prosperity pastors and shit, because a lot of these Christians are brainwashed, they don't realize that these people are just taking everyday life and making it become their own. So in other words, a lot of people going through some shit, and what these motivational speakers, these pimps of the pulpit do, they home in on your everyday I should say shortcomings, right? And they make it feel like, okay, God is speaking to you, because every time when you hear one of these messages and shit, you take the shit personally. You're like, oh yeah, this is a message for me from God. No, it's a message for all you goofy ass Christians, right? But anyway, with this dude, it was something about him. I never liked him. He was so flamboyant. He just had this fucking aura about him, this demeanor about him that I never liked it. Never liked him, you know what I'm saying? And I remember back in I think it was might have been 2020, he had an interview, and I guess they was talking about because I guess it was when we was under the lockdown, the churches was losing a lot of income. And I remember him having an interview and shit, and he was talking about how he's being affected by the lockdown and the church is losing money. And I'm listening to this motherfucker talking about the church is losing money. So it's not about winning souls. It's not about people getting their soul saved. I don't know how can a pastor or a church save your soul. The Most High got to be the one to do it. Man can't save nobody's soul. You know what I'm saying? But he was talking about how his churches was being affected by the lockdown, and he wasn't getting income, and and I'm saying to myself, these people are worrying about their lives. These people are worried about getting COVID and dying from the shit. Anybody worry about going to motherfucking church to hear from God or to hear from no Jesus Christ? Because at the end of the day, Jesus Christ and God ain't saving nobody, because God and Jesus Christ is the same motherfucking person, right? According to them. And Jesus and God is none other than Lucifer. I've been telling y'all this shit because you're praying to God and ain't nothing, the prayer's not being answered, right? So many billions of Christians, and you're praying to this fucking God of the world, which is Satan or Lucifer. And instead of this shit get better, it's get worse. So that should tell y'all something, who y'all really worshiping. But anyway, I'm saying to myself, like, you got people literally dying at the time, and this motherfucker worried about church attendance, church income. You know what I mean? That should show y'all that the church was created by Lucifer, aka Jesus Christ, right? To control you goofy ass Christians. I said I was trying not to talk about religion, but I have no choice. So they allow these pimp of the pulpit, right? Tax exemption, right? The 5013 or whatever the fuck it is. They allow them to be tax exempt. And in the interim, they pimp y'all out of y'all money. Y'all go to work every day and shit to get this money, and they tell y'all to give them 10% of your hard-earned income, right? How can you give to God when God already gave the shit? So in other words, God gave me a job, an opportunity to get income to bless my family. I gotta get a motherfucker back. I gotta give him back 10% for what? Like, I mean, why give me the money? Why give me money that I gotta give back to you? This shit don't make no sense. Like, okay, you give me a job, God, right, which is Satan or Lucifer. So you give me a job, but I gotta give you 10% of this shit. It doesn't make sense. So you give me, look. Anyway, so that's what's happening, family. So again, stay on topic. If you notice this year, there's been a lot of shit coming out, right? So what's happening with Wendy Williams and TD Snakes and P. Diddy, and there's going to be many, many more that follows, is that their time is up. They have sold their soul, and now it's time to pay the piper, right? The Grim Reaper is coming to collect. And it usually starts with them exposing, whatever's out there it's going to be exposed, because now they don't have that covering from whoever they sold these entities, because a lot of these people actually have sold their soul literally, family. I'm not talking about the shit that you hear people. I'm talking about they have given up their soul for riches. And when I saw the documentary about Wendy Williams, I felt some type of way, because I'm like, this person, I guess in the end she didn't realize how bad this shit was going to be. And I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not putting my mouth on her. May the Most High bless her and keep her. But because the soul is taken, right, I wouldn't be surprised if we hear between now and the end of this year and shit, or even the end of the summer, that she's no longer with us. Because that's how it works, you know what I'm saying? So there's a saying, what is it to gain the world and shit and lose your soul? And that's the thing. A lot of these celebrities have done so. They have literally sacrificed their soul for monetary gain. To a degree, I can't blame them, because if you're living in poverty and shit, and you see on TV, music video, where you see people, flaunting these prop monies, because a lot of the cash that you see on TV or these videos are not real. They're not allowed to have real money, right, in videos. And these, weapons you see, these guns and shit. I'm not gonna say some of them ain't real, but most of them, they prop money. They prop money and prop guns and shit. And the lifestyle that you see them portray in these videos is not real. These cars they drive are not theirs. They're rented, right? These big ass houses, it's not theirs. My son is in the game. My son is in the music, and when he does his video, he rents, like a 5 to 6 bedroom mansion and shit. And this shit ain't his, but that's the portrayal. That's why I told y'all in the past video that everything we see is not real. Even when you see somebody on a daily basis and shit, that's not the true person that you're seeing. That's not the real person, because behind closed doors, they're totally different. Even your ass, when you go out there to work and shit, don't you put on makeup and get your hair done and put on the best outfit and shit? You know what I'm saying? A lot of you motherfuckers take the makeup off. Y'all not, I'm not going to call y'all ugly, because no black people to me is ugly. But y'all not going to be the same person when you take all that shit off, that artificial shit off. So the world is a stage, family. All this shit is not real. When I say not real, I'm not saying it's not physical. It's physical, but it's all made up. Everything, the signs on the road, everything, we are literally being controlled. And it goes as far as even the churches. So with those 3 individuals, they're starting to be exposed, because their time is up, and many are going to follow. And One last thing I'm going to say before I go. I really want to go more in depth with what I want to talk about these three, but I'm at where I need to be, and I got to take care of some business. But after April 8th, family, after April 8th this year, things are going to be so chaotic. Things are going to be so fucking chaotic. So I would say y'all need to start get your shit in order. You know, every video I always try to tell y'all, you know, start getting your affairs in order because shit's about to get real. Before this 2024 election, it's going to be real. I suspect that there will not be a 2024 election, right? Because during an election, if there's a crisis, there cannot be an election. And I think that they're going to, you know, present some kind of false flag. False flag doesn't necessarily mean it's not real or it's not happening. It means they're going to cause a problem to get a reaction and find a solution, which is going to be another lockdown. All right. After April 8th, which is my daughter's birthday, right? 2024 things is never going to go to be the same. It's going to be another lockdown all over again, but it's going to be different this time. All right, we're going to see some shit that we have never, ever, ever seen before. Mark my word. Shalom.